Hi, everybody. I am KimMessersmith.com, and I was literally just inspired today to start doing my videos because I'm about to start reading this book called I Am That. It's talks with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. There, there you go. I am that. Okay, and you can see it's still in the plastic. I have no idea what I'm in for. Just kind of thought I'm going to open it at least today. I'm going to look at it. And my intention is, might change, but my intention is to read it. Oh, it's got a flappy cover on mine. So didn't expect that. Let's see. And I want to see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to read some little quotes at the beginning on page Roman numeral 5. That in whom reside all beings, and who resides in all beings, who is the giver of grace to all, the supreme soul of the universe, the limitless being, I am that. And that's from Amrit Bindu Upanishad. And the Upanishads, if you don't know, are part, or I don't know, part. I'm not an expert on them. There's a thin little book and it's about Indian teachings. The Upanishads starts with a U. Upanishad. Upanishads. I have the book, started it, haven't finished it. And there's another quote here by Shankaracharya. They love their syllables, don't they? So he or she says, that which permeates all, which nothing transcends, and which, like the universal space around us, fills everything completely from within and without. That supreme non-dual Brahman, that thou art. Okay, I'm just going to hold that up. Let me take off this paper. I'm just going to hold it up. You can screenshot, pause it if you want to see it better. I just hope it's not mirrored for you because it's mirrored for me. Okay, the guy who is the subject of this book, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Looks like he was born in 1897, died in 1981. And here's a poem that he wrote. The seeker is he who is in search of himself. Give up all questions except one. Who am I? After all, the only fact you are sure of is that you are. The I am is certain. The I am this is not. Struggle to find out what you are in reality. To know what you are, you must first investigate and know what you are not. Discover all that you are not: body, feelings, thoughts, time, space, this or that. Nothing, concrete or abstract, which you perceive can be you. The very act of perceiving shows that you are not what you perceive. The clearer you understand that on the level of mind, you can be described in negative terms only. The quicker will you come to the end of your search and realize that you are the limitless being. This is on Roman numeral 7. I'm just going to hold it up for a second. Let me back it up so I get the whole thing. Got a little way here. Oh, and here's a picture of him. Okay. So I am going to make comments along the way if I have a comment. Let's see, looking at the contents, we've got a foreword. Who is Nisargadatta Maharaj? the translator's note, editor's note, and then, oh my, 101 little chapters. Looks like they're 8 pages each. And then a few appendices and a glossary at the back, which might be helpful. I'm going to look at the glossary real quick. All right, it's page 595 to 604. So it's not that long, but I think that might be helpful as we go along. So I might be referring to that. I am going to read the foreword. And I think we'll do that today and then we'll stop for the day. I don't want these to be too long. I'm looking to see how long I've been on this already, but I don't see a time. It says it's 4:13 p.m. It is December 27th, 2024 for me. Okay, so let's just read the foreword. That there should be yet another edition of I Am That is not surprising, for the sublimity of the words spoken by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, their directness, and their lucidity with which they refer to the highest, have already made this book a literature of paramount importance. In fact, many regard it as the only book of spiritual teaching really worth studying. There are various religions and systems of philosophy which claim to endow human life with meaning, but they suffer from certain inherent limitations. They couch into fine sounding words their traditional beliefs and ideologies, theological or philosophical. Believers, however, discover the limited range of meaning and applicability of these words sooner or later. They get disillusioned and tend to abandon the systems in the same way as scientific theories are abandoned when they are called into question by too much contradictory empirical data. When a system of spiritual interpretation turns out to be unconvincing and not capable of being rationally justified, many people allow themselves to be converted to some other system. After a while, however, they find limitations and contradictions in the other systems also. In this unrewarding pursuit of acceptance and rejection, what remains for them is only skepticism and agnosticism, leading to a fatuous way of living, engrossed in mere gross utilities of life, just consuming material goods. Sometimes, however, though rarely, skepticism gives rise to an intuition of a basic reality, more fundamental than that of words, religions, or philosophic systems. Strangely, it is a positive aspect of skepticism. It was in such a state of skepticism, but also having an intuition of the basic reality, that I happened to read Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj's I Am That. Who's writing this forward? Due Tiemersma, Philosophical Faculty, Erasmus Universiteit. So some university, looks like he's from Rotterdam, Holland. And this was written in June 1981. You want to see his name? Because I don't know how to say that. All right. Back to where I was when he was saying how he read this. Okay. It was in such a state of skepticism, but also having an intuition of the basic reality, that I happened to read Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj's I Am That. I was at once struck by the finality and unassailable certitude of his words. Limited by their very nature, though words are, I found the utterances of Maharaj transparent polished windows, as it were. No book of spiritual teachings, however, can replace the presence of the teacher himself. Only the words spoken directly to you by the guru shed their opacity completely. In the guru's presence, the last boundaries drawn by the mind vanish. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Just from my other spiritual learnings. There are no such things as a guru. A guru is not a person. Okay, I'm not educated enough to tell you what a guru is, but I know it's not a person, so nobody is your guru. Don't let anybody be your guru. Okay. Besides, this is all you. This is me. This is all me. I'm a part of you right now. We're all one. Nobody's your guru. Okay. But I will read what he wrote. In the Guru's presence, the last boundaries drawn by the mind vanish. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj is indeed such a guru. He is not a preacher, but he provides precisely those indications which the seeker needs. The reality which emanates from him is inalienable and absolute. It is authentic. Having experienced the verity of his words, the truthfulness of his words, in the pages of I Am That, and being inspired by it, many from the West have found their way to Maharaj to seek enlightenment. I was going to just leave it, but that is a little too bright. Better? Okay. Maharaj's interpretation of truth is not different from that of Jnana Yoga, Advaita Vedanta, but he has a way of his own. The multifarious forms around us, says he, are constituted of the five elements. They are transient and in a state of perpetual flux. Also, they are governed by the law of causation. All this applies to the body and the mind also, both of which are transient and subject to birth and death. And I'm going to interject here, you were never born, so you can never die. Anyway, if it born and dies, then it's not real. But who you really are has always been, will always be. Moving on. We know that only by means of the bodily senses and the mind can the world be known. As in the Kantian view, I'm guessing how to pronounce that, Kantian, as in the Kantian view, it is a correlate of the human knowing subject, and therefore has the fundamental structure of our way of knowing. This means that time, space, and causality are not, quote, objective, end quote, or extraneous entities, but mental categories in which everything is molded. The existence and form of all things depends upon the mind. Cognition is a mental product, and the world as seen from the mind is a subjective and private world, which changes continuously in accordance with the restlessness of the mind itself. In opposition to the restless mind with its limited categories, intentionality, subjectivity, duality, etc., stands supreme the limitless sense of, quote, I am, end quote. The only thing I can be sure about is that I am, not as a thinking I am in the Cartesian sense, but without any predicates. Again and again, Maharaj draws our attention to this basic fact in order to make us realize our I amness and thus get rid of all self-made prisons. He says, the only true statement is I am. All else is mere interference. By no effort can you change the I am into I am not. Interesting. Behold, the real experiencer is not the mind, but myself, the light in which everything appears. Self is the common factor at the root of all experience, the awareness in which everything happens. Interject again. So that's kind of what I was saying. Like, this is all you. This is yourself. I'm just a figment of your imagination, I suppose. Continuing, the entire field of consciousness is only as a film or a speck in I am. This I amness is being conscious or consciousness, being aware of itself. and it is indescribable because it has no attributes. It is only being myself, and being myself is all that there is. Everything that exists, everything that exists as myself. There is nothing which is different from me. There is no duality and therefore no pain. There are no problems. It is the sphere of love in which everything is perfect. What happens, happens spontaneously without intentions, like digestion or the growth of the hair. Realize this and be free from the limitations of the mind. Behold, the deep sleep in which there is no notion of being this or that, yet I am remains. And behold the eternal now. Memory seems to bring things to the present out of the past, but all that happens does happen in the present only. So all we have is now. All there is now. There is no past, there is no future, there is just now. Continuing. It is only in the timeless now that phenomena manifest themselves. Thus, time and causation do not apply in reality. I am prior to the world, body, and mind. I am the sphere, start over. I am the sphere in which they appear and disappear. I am the source of them all, the universal power by which the world with its bewildering diversity becomes manifest. In spite of its primevalidity, primevalidity, I don't know what this word is, primevality. In spite of its primevality, however, the sense of I am is not the highest. It is not the absolute, the capital A. The sense or taste of I amness is not absolutely beyond time. Being the essence of the five elements, it, in a way, depends upon the world. He doesn't talk about the five elements, but I'm going to guess it's earth, air, water, wood, maybe ether or metal. Depends on the system on what they call the five elements. So it arises from the body, which in its turn is built by food consisting of the elements. It disappears when the body dies, like the spark extinguishes when the incense stick burns out. When pure awareness is attained, no need exists anymore, not even for I am, which is but a useful pointer, a direction indicator towards the absolute. The awareness I am then easily ceases. What prevails is that which cannot be described, that which is beyond words. It is this state, that's in quotes, state, it is this state which is most real, a state of pure potentiality, which is prior to everything. The I am and the universe are mere reflections of it. It is this reality which a Jnani has realized. I'm going to see if Janani's in the back. Jnani. Okay, I don't know what that is. Do you? Hijk. And boo-hoo. Don't know what that is. The best that you can do is to listen attentively to the Jnani, of whom Sri Nisargadatta is a living example, and to trust and believe him. By such listening, you will realize that his reality is your reality. He helps you in seeing the nature of the world and of the I am. He urges you to study the workings of the body and the mind with solemn and intense concentration, to recognize that you are neither of them, and to cast them off. He suggests that you return again and again to I am until it is your only abode, your only home, I guess, outside of which nothing exists, until the ego as a limitation of I am has disappeared. It is then that the highest realization will just happen effortlessly. Mark the words of the Jnani, which cut across all concepts and dogmas. Maharaj says, quote, until one becomes self-realized, attains to knowledge of the self, transcends the self. Until then, all these cock and bull stories are provided, all these concepts, end quote. And I guess that comes from an evening talk, October 2nd, 1979, in Belgium. Yes, they are concepts. Even I am is. But surely there are no concepts more precious. It is for the seeker to regard them with the utmost seriousness because they indicate the highest reality. No better concepts are available to shed all concepts. I am thankful to Sudhakar S. Dikshit? Dikshit? Okay, I just have to show you this. Where my finger is. Oops, sorry, I shouldn't use that finger. Looks like dick shit. Okay, sorry, must be a foreign language. I'm thankful to this guy, the editor, for inviting me to write the foreword to this new edition of I Am That, and thus giving me an opportunity to pay my homage to Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who has expounded highest knowledge in the simplest, clearest, and the most convincing words. And that's Dewi Tiamersma that I showed you earlier. So next time we will go over who is Nisargadatta Maharaj. And they're showing another picture of him. Okay, that will be next time. So let me just put a little bookmark in there. We made it to page Roman numeral 19. Okay, thank you for joining me. If you want to go through this book as I do, because like I said, I've never read this book. It was recommended to me, and intuition says this book is for me, which means it's for you because I am just a reflection of you in this video. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Take care.